Salting is a subcategory of the drying method. The main difference here is that salt is added to product, mainly meat and fish, to draw out moisture. This lowers the bacteria content and makes food adaptable for later use. Adding salt to animal protein turns it into a bit lettery. An overview of different methods of salting. Dry salting. This is done by directly applying granules of salt to the fish. The surface of the fish is completely covered. This fish is mixed in crystalline salts in containers. Salt and fish is one spread in alternate layers. The proportion of salts increasing upwards. Fish is allowed to remain in brine for 2 to 3 days and dried afterwards. Quench salting. Quench salting is a method of drying salt except that the salt brine form is allowed to drain off. Brine salting. In this method of salting, fish is kept immersed in the in-brine of desired concentration for the required time. Brine salting is the solution of salt and water. The fish is submerged of several for hours depending upon the amount of salt required. Mixed salting. An advantageous method over brine salting for large and oily fishes is mixed or pickle curing. Fish is mixed with dried salt and packed in watertight containers with salt sprinkled in each layer. Wheat salting. This is the cheaper since it requires lesser amounts of salt. The principle is to keep the fish for a long time in brines. If the salt is coarse, it has to be ground or pounded first. It is then dissolved into the water by stirring with a piece of wood. To be good, the brine must float a fish. With salting is include immersion technique and enhancing flavor. Immersion technique is submerging the food in a salt water solution to achieve even distribution of flavor and moisture retention. Then, the enhancing flavor is used to infuse with flavor and maintain juiciness through the salt water brine. Fermentation. This is a process of salting fish such as delis, tunsoy, kalaso, and galunggong. There are two types of curing method, the dry curing method and the wet curing method. Basic methods of curing are dry curing, in which the cure is rubbed into the meat by hand, and brine curing, in which the meat is soaked in a mixture of water and curing agents. Dry curing is faster, 2 to 3 days per pound. Dry curing is best used to cure hams, bacons, and smaller cuts of meats. Dry curing involves applying the cure mix directly on the meat. The wet curing method, sometimes called brine, salt and water, sweet pickle or sugar added, or immersion curing has been traditionally used for larger cuts of meat, like bats or hams that were smoked. It is accomplished by placing meats In a wheat curing solution like water, salts, nitrates, sometimes sugar.
Curing method has a moisture retention utilized for retaining maximum moisture, making the food juicier and more flavorful. Extended shelf life is allows to extend shelf life, making it suitable for long-term storage and distribution.
Difference of dry curing and wet curing. The difference between the two is that wet curing involves the liquid brine while dry curing does not. No matter the method, all processes for curing meat require the salt-based solution to penetrate through the entire piece of meat to ensure it is safe to eat. Benefits of salting: flavor enhancement, improved taste and palatability, bringing out the natural flavors of various ingredients. The preservation is the extends the shelf life and prevent spoilage of perishable food items, reducing waste. The conclusion is salting is useful food preservation method to reduce water content and kills certain microbes to increase shelf life quality. Salting is also plays a role in giving taste, texture, and aroma to ingredients. Salting method consists of dry, wet, and a combination of both. Recommendation: first is experimentation. Encourage experimentation with different salting methods to discover unique flavor or profiles and textures. Research. Research the optimal salt concentration and application techniques for specific food items to achieve desired results. Attention to detail. Pay attention to details such as salting time, temperature, and the type of salt used for consistent outcomes.